Hello everyone, welcome back to Finance Focus with Andrew, where we engage in conversation that endeavor to enhance our financial literacy. If you have been wondering whether it is the right time to invest in treasury bills, you are in the right place, because in this video we get to break down the treasury bills results as released by the Central Bank of Kenya today, that is the 29th of May 2025, so that we can be able to see the figures and be able to understand what the figures means to you as an investor or even as a potential investor. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Also turn the notification bell so that you don't get to miss any of our financial tips. Now, before we dive into the results, let's do a refresher for anyone who is joining us today, assuming that they are hearing the word treasury bills today. Now, treasury bills are short-term investment schemes where you get to lend money to the government for a period of either 91 days, 182 days, or 364 days, and then you get back your money with an interest. Having said that, let's dive into the results and see what we have for today, the 29th of May 2025. As I have mentioned, we always have 3 treasury bills floated every other week. Now, that is the 91 days, the 182 days, and the 364 days. For the 91 days, the government seeks to borrow 4 billion every other week. And for the 182 days, the government seeks to borrow 10B every week. And the 364 days, the government seeks to borrow 10B every week. Now, what amounts were available for the government for this week? So, for the 91 days, the government wanted 4B, but Kenyans were willing to give up to 19.196 billion. That is a very big oversubscription, because that is an achievement of 479%. So, we had an oversubscription in the 91 days treasury bill. For the 182 days, the government intended to borrow 10 billion, but Kenyans were only willing to offer 8.808 billion. That is an undersubscription because it is an 88% achievement. For the 364 days, the government wanted to borrow 10 billion, but Kenyans were willing to give up to 15.688 billion. So that is another oversubscription, because that is a 156% achievement. Then when we go to the total amount that the government needed was 24 billion, but investors, and this is both the individual and the commercial investors, were willing to offer 43.693 billion. That is an oversubscription because that is a 182% achievement. When we come to the interest rate, which is another key feature about treasury bills, we have had a trend where interest rates has been going down significantly since we started the year 2025. But right now I can say we are at a level where the interest rates for the treasury bills are still going down, but by very small margin, as we get to see. Because if you see for the 91 days, the interest rate was at 8.2927. That is a drop from last week where it was at 8.3231%. So that is a drop of 0.0304%. For the 182 days, the interest was at 8.5642%. That is a slight drop from last week, which was 8.5750%. So that's a drop of 0.0108%. So, and for the 364 days, we had 10%. We have been saying that anytime soon, even the 364 days interest rate will go to a single digit following the 182 days and the 91 days. But today now we are at that mark. We are at 10.0000% mark. That's a slight drop from 10.0026% last week. So if this interest goes down by even an inch, even the 364 days treasury bills will be at a single digit. But we have one interesting factor that we can get from today's results, and that is the insight that I want to share. Now, you see, despite the 91 days giving the lowest interest rate, that is where we got the highest amount, an oversubscription by 379%, because that was 4 times what the government wanted. So that should be a clear indicator to you that when you get to invest or to save your money, interest rate or returns, it's not the only thing that you get to consider. So it means that majority of investors who got into treasury bills this week, their main intention was not interest rate, but they did not want to lock their money for so long. So that's why, despite the interest rate for the 91 days being the lowest, and we all knew that it will be the lowest because that has been the trend, they still opted for that 91 days treasury bill, because their major interest here, maybe it's not interest rate, but they don't want to lock their money for too long. That is it for that week treasury bills. If you found this video helpful, ensure to give a like and share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what is holding you back from investing in the treasury bills. Remember, money likes swift action and poverty likes indecision. So try as much as you can to redeem the time between having an idea and the time you get to execute that idea. See you next week.